Okay, we're still factoring trinomials, so we've already done our first example of bottoms up. Let's continue with our second. So remember, you want to multiply the first and the last term. And when you multiply the first and the last term, you're multiplying the number in front of the y and that 7. So 1 times 27 is 27. So I want to find the factors of 27. And remember, this tells you whether you're adding or subtracting. And since it's a minus, I am subtracting. So I want to subtract to give me a -6. Okay? The factors of 27 that subtract to give me that middle number, -6. So let's think of the factors of 27. I know I have 1 and 27. If I subtract them, I get 26. That doesn't help me. 3 and 9 are the next factors of 27. If I subtract 3 and 9, I get 6. Yay, these are our factors. So since 3 and 9 are my factors, now I'm going to use my sign rules to determine the signs of these middle terms. So since I'm subtracting, I'm going to use the sign rule that says different signs, subtract, and take the sign of the bigger number. So we are subtracting on this one. So since we're subtracting, that means that our numbers have to be different signs. Now what's the middle sign? The middle sign is -6. So since we have a -6 for our answer, that means the sign of the bigger number needs to be negative. The other number is positive. Why are they different signs? Because when you subtract, you have to have different signs, and then you're going to take the sign of the bigger number. So that means the answer will always be the same sign as that bigger number. So I have a +3 and a -9. Now remember, when you do your bottoms up step, you're dividing by that leading term, and that leading term is a y. So when I divide by my y and bottoms up, I have y +3 and y -9. Okay, so again, we're going to do a ton more. Hope you're not overwhelmed at this point. All right, now let's look at our last example on this page. So we have number 1, number 2, and number 3. Number 3 looks odd. The reason why it looks so strange is because it is out of order and written incorrectly, apparently. So we should have a GCF, and we do have a GCF. We always want to make sure when you're writing your polynomial that it's in descending order. So I'm going to say that this is, remember your ax² plus bx plus c. When you write this in descending order, you're going to have the x² first. So I'm going to write that first. So I have my x², and then I'm just going to write my 5x minus my 14x. And I'm pretty sure I should have had an x³ somewhere, but I'm not sure where it should be. So I'm just going to leave this one how it is. So I am going to factor out a x. And the reason why we're factoring out an x is because there's x's in all 3 groups. So when you have an x in all 3 groups, I have 1x left. Remember, when you do your GCF, what you're doing is you're subtracting your exponents. So if I take 1x from 2 x's, I'm left with 1. If I take 1x from this 5, I'm just left with 5. If I take 1x from this 14, I'm just left with 14. Now this apparently, again, is not how it should have been. I'm not sure exactly what went wrong here. Maybe this shouldn't have been an x. I'm not sure. But I'm just gonna leave this how it is. Combine these two for like terms. So I have x times x minus 9. And this will be in simplest form. This apparently just was mistyped, and I'm not sure where the error is. So we're going to keep this in simplest form right here. We won't be able to do the bottoms up method, because the only time that you can do bottoms up is when it's of the form ax² plus bx plus c. So the only thing we could have done with this one is a GCF. And when we took out that GCF and combined like terms, we only had 2 terms left. So this is as far as we can go. All right, we're going to pick up on the next one in the next video.